Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Hope all is well. It's important that we always retain our simple service of Hashem, our simple relationship we have with Hashem, that of which a child has for Hashem. You know, where service of Hashem is natural, it's something beautiful, and it's real. And a person doesn't have to, at least when a child's serving Hashem, they're not trying to understand all the intrinsic details. They don't have to grasp exactly what's going on. They're excited to do a mitzvah just to do the mitzvah, just to serve Hashem. They're not going through their own self-approval. Do I understand this enough to do this mitzvah? Do I feel it enough? No. Child does it, jumps right in. That's how we have to be in our service of Hashem, and we should never lose that simplicity in our service of Hashem, because you find it all over Chassidus that Hashem is pshita, betachlis pshitus. Not to get too into that, it's a deep concept, but Hashem is simple. Hashem's being is the in the purest way of simplicity. Hashem is the most simple. Of course, Hashem is Hashem. We can't even begin to understand what Hashem is, but Hashem is simple. He's betachlis apshitus. He's the ultimate simplicity. That's something that obviously it's hard to understand, but we just know that Hashem is the ultimate simplicity. So for us to try to connect to Hashem, we have to always retain that simplicity in our service of Hashem. This doesn't mean that we don't try to get more intelligent. It doesn't mean that we don't try to work on our chokhmah bina das, on our intellect, and in our service of Hashem to acquire knowledge and awareness and understanding of godliness. We're encouraged to do that. B'ezrat Hashem, we should all do that. But not to make that the dependent factor on whether we're going to serve Hashem or not. We're going to serve Hashem regardless of if we understand this mitzvah or not. We're going to serve Hashem regardless of whether we feel excited or we feel an emotion for this mitzvah or not. We're going to serve Hashem with pure simplicity because that's the right thing to do. That's what Hashem wants. And then if we understand it, amazing. And if we feel it, even better. Well, I don't know, even better, but also good. You know, and that actually unlocks the door for us to understand things much better. Because when our ratzon is plugged in, when we have the will to serve Hashem, when that's plugged in, where the determining factor is not whether I understand this, whether it makes sense to me, whether I fully understand why I should be doing this mitzvah, but rather I'm doing because Hashem wants it. And then when you have that mindset that first I'm serving Hashem and then we'll talk, then I'll try to understand. Then you're setting yourself up because you're doing it in a way of humility that you're a vessel to then understand it better. When you make it about you, do I understand this? Do I understand this? So you're blocking yourself off from actually understanding it because the whole idea of understanding Torah and understanding godliness is that Hashem is beyond our understanding. So to think that we're going to be able to grasp Hashem in our mind, that's a mistake, because to grasp something means you wrap around it and you have hold of it. Hashem is beyond our minds. So we can't fit Hashem into our limited minds. But then, here's the interesting part. When we recognize that we can't fully understand Hashem, Hashem is beyond our comprehension, now we're actually starting to understand Hashem. Because by understanding that you can't understand fully Hashem, now you're actually starting to understand what Hashem is all about. It's that humility, and that actually is a real understanding. That is a real intellectual perception, awareness, because there's a beautiful concept that Rebbe Rashab speaks about, is that Hashem it's like the horizon, an analogy of the horizon. The more you drive, the more you think you're going to drive towards the horizon keeps moving back and back and back. So too with Hashem, the higher a person gets in their understanding of Hashem, and this is what the Rebbeim speak about the angels. They have such a tremendous understanding and grasp of godliness. They perceive, they're aware of Hashem to such a high degree, the angels and the neshamas above. But they realize that whatever they do perceive and whatever they do understand is just a little drop in the infinite, beyond infinite ocean. That the more you learn about Hashem, the higher you feel aware of Hashem, the more you feel Hashem's presence, the more awesome it is, the more incredible it is, the more you realize Hashem is beyond infinitely above that. And the higher you get, the more you realize Hashem is even higher than that. And it continues, so on and so forth. And the higher you get, the more you realize you're nothing. It's not like the higher you are, the realize more you're higher than you were before. No, the higher you get in awareness of Hashem, the more you realize that your awareness of Hashem is just a little drop, is so insignificant to what Hashem really is. So that's like the beauty of this, is that it's never ending. And that's why this world, we say we're going to live forever, we're going to have forevermore. for the days of Mashiach, le'olam va'ed, forever and ever. Why? Because Hashem is beyond infinite. As high as we get, as much as we understand, as high of a level we are at today, tomorrow will be even greater. And that's the beauty of it, that the more you learn Chassidus, the more you learn Torah, the more you realize you're only aware of a little drop, the more it's like a holy addiction, that you realize the more you learn Torah, the more it's like you're building a picture, the more there's, and it's a beyond infinite picture, so to speak. So that's the beauty of it, that when we make it about, if I understand this, I'll do it. No, but then you're limiting Hashem to your understanding. When you say, look, we have a relationship with Hashem which is above understanding. It's called a ratzon, the will to connect to Hashem. And it's called emunah, faith, and also pleasure, ta'anug. These are all parts of the level above intellect. And we have a simple pleasure in serving Hashem. And that is higher than intellect. Like the parent loves the child, the parent doesn't need a logical reason to love the child. They love its child because it's truth, it's emes, it's above logic, it's a reality. So we have that connection with Hashem that is above our understanding. And when we connect to Hashem at that level that's above understanding, we open the door for them to finally, and then it flows down into our understanding, and we're able to understand deep ideas, because we're making ourselves humble before Hashem to realize that we won't fully grasp Him in our limited minds, but understanding that we don't fully understand Him is actually that's the way to start understanding what Hashem is all about. And this, to end off with this, the Baal Shem Tov was meditating when he was 16 years old. I have a video about this, the Baal Shem Tov story, but I think it's worth noting because it's so connected to this idea. The Baal Shem Tov, when he was 16 years old, he was meditating in the fields, unifying the different names of Hashem, thinking about all the different names of Hashem and how Hashem is one, thinking about these deep, deep ideas in Tehillim. And all of a sudden, because of his deep meditations, Eliyahu Navi, Elijah the prophet, appeared to him. Think about that. Imagine a person was thinking such deep Torah concepts that it activated to Elijah the prophet, summoned Elijah the prophet to come visit him. So he was shocked, the Baal Shem Tov, because he met Elijah the prophet with his teachers before, but never alone. And Eliyahu Navi was smiling. The Baal Shem Tov said hi, like they greeted him, and then the Eliyahu the prophet said to the Baal Shem Tov, he said, "You did very good, my son. You did a very good job. I'm very proud of you. Hashem gets a lot of pleasure from you when you think about these deep Kabbalistic meditations. But I want you to know that Hashem gets even greater pleasure from the simple Jew reading Tehillim in his house who doesn't even know about these Kabbalistic intentions, these Kabbalistic ideas, these meditations." So we learn from this that what causes Hashem even greater pleasure than the deepest forms of Kabbalistic meditation, the deepest forms of understanding and wisdom, and the highest levels of tzaddikim? What causes Hashem even greater pleasure? When the simple Jew reads Tehillim and serves Hashem from a way of simplicity, without understanding all these details. That is higher than any of this understanding. And when a person humbles themselves like that, serves Hashem in a simple way, Hashem is my father and I'm his son, he's my king, I want to serve him. That's the ikr, that's the most important. The rest will come. They open the door they open the path, they open the door for it to flow into the understanding, and then down to the emotions and into action. So I hope you enjoyed this video. May Hashem bless you all. Be well.